I was lying on the operating table when the anesthesia started wearing off early, and I heard the surgeon whisper to my oncologist, "The insurance company paid us $50,000 to delay his treatment until it's too late." They thought I was unconscious, but as a medical fraud investigator, I'd been recording everything with a hidden device for weeks. When I woke up and asked about my surgery, they smiled and said it went perfectly. That's when I realized my insurance company wasn't just denying my $3.7 million claim. They were actively trying to kill me. My name is Marcus Williams. I'm 44 years old, and this is the story of how my insurance company conspired with doctors to let me die rather than pay for my cancer treatment, and how my medical investigation background helped me expose the biggest healthcare fraud conspiracy in state history. I'd been a medical malpractice investigator for Precision Legal Services for 12 years. My job was tracking down insurance fraud, fake medical claims, and corrupt healthcare providers. I'd exposed dozens of schemes where doctors overbilled insurance companies or provided unnecessary treatments. I was good at my job because I understood both the medical and legal sides of healthcare fraud. My wife Sarah and I had built a comfortable life in Denver. She worked as a nurse practitioner, and we had 2 kids, Emma, 16, and Jake, 14. We thought we had everything figured out until that routine physical in March 2023. Martinez found something concerning in my blood work. More tests followed, then a biopsy. 2 weeks later, he called with results that changed everything. Stage 3 pancreatic cancer. Aggressive, spreading rapidly, but still treatable with immediate surgical intervention and chemotherapy. The diagnosis hit our family like a truck. Sarah, with her medical background, understood immediately how serious this was. The kids knew something was wrong, but didn't grasp the full implications yet. The treatment plan was extensive. Surgery to remove the tumor, followed by 6 months of specialized chemotherapy, radiation therapy, and ongoing monitoring for at least 2 years. Total estimated cost, $3.7 million. But I had excellent insurance through my employer. Comprehensive coverage that specifically included cancer treatment with no lifetime maximums. I submitted the pre-authorization request expecting routine approval. After 15 years of paying premiums without a single major claim, I figured this was exactly why I had insurance. Instead, I received a denial letter that made no sense. Claim denied due to pre-existing condition not disclosed during enrollment period. According to Premier Health Insurance, I had shown signs of pancreatic issues during my insurance application, physical, 2 years earlier. This was impossible. My application physical had been completely normal. I'd specifically chosen this insurance plan because of their comprehensive cancer coverage. Claims adjuster Jennifer Walsh was cold and dismissive when I called. "Mr. Williams, our medical review clearly shows elevated enzyme levels in your 2021 physical that indicate pre-existing pancreatic inflammation. You failed to disclose this condition, which voids coverage for related treatments." I demanded to see these records. What they sent me was my physical report, but something was wrong. The enzyme levels they highlighted weren't in my original medical file that I had received from Dr. Peterson's office. My investigator instincts kicked in immediately. If someone was willing to falsify medical records to deny a $3.7 million claim, this wasn't just insurance fraud. This was attempted murder. I had maybe 6 months to live without treatment, and someone was betting I'd die before I could fight back. I contacted Dr. Peterson's office and requested copies of my original 2021 physical. The nurse seemed nervous when I explained why I needed them. "The insurance company already requested these records," she said. "They've been here several times reviewing your file." When I received the copies and compared them to what Premier Health had sent, the differences were subtle but clear. Someone had digitally altered the lab results, changing normal enzyme levels to abnormal ones. They'd also added notes about patient reporting stomach discomfort that I'd never mentioned. I realized I was dealing with a sophisticated conspiracy. Premier Health wasn't just denying claims randomly, they were actively manufacturing evidence to support their denials. As a fraud investigator, I knew exactly what to do. I started recording everything. Every phone call with the insurance company, every conversation with medical staff, every interaction related to my case. I also began researching Premier Health's denial patterns. What I found was horrifying. Over the past 3 years, Premier Health had systematically denied expensive cancer claims by retroactively finding pre-existing conditions in patients' medical records. They had partnerships with medical records companies that could digitally alter files to support their denials. But I suspected something even worse was happening. The timing of their denials was too precise, and many patients died during the appeals process. Meanwhile, my cancer was progressing rapidly. Dr. Martinez was increasingly frustrated by the insurance delays. "Marcus, we need to start treatment immediately. Every week we wait reduces your survival chances by 15 to 20%. Sarah was distraught. "Maybe we should just pay out of pocket and fight the insurance later," she suggested. "But $3.7 million would bankrupt us, and still might not be enough if complications arose." I decided to schedule surgery with Dr. Rodriguez, a top oncologist at Regional Medical Center. The insurance company couldn't legally deny emergency surgery to remove an active tumor, and I needed it removed immediately. But I also saw it as an opportunity to gather evidence. If Premier Health was bribing doctors to delay treatment, there might be evidence during the medical procedures. Before the surgery, I hid a digital recording device in my hospital gown, a device so small it looked like a medical sensor. The morning of surgery, Sarah kissed me goodbye as I was wheeled into the operating room. "I love you," she whispered. "Fight for us." Dr. Rodriguez administered anesthesia, but something went wrong with the dosage. Instead of losing consciousness completely, I remained in a state where I could hear conversations, but couldn't move or respond, a medical condition called anesthetic awareness. That's when I heard the conversation that exposed everything. Dr. Rodriguez whispered to my oncologist, "Dr. Martinez, Premier called again this morning. They're offering the usual arrangement, $50,000, to delay his post-surgery treatment protocol for 6 weeks. They want the cancer to progress past the point of treatability." Dr. Martinez sounded uncomfortable. "Rodriguez, this is different. This guy's a medical fraud investigator. If he figures out what we're doing..." "He won't figure out anything if he's dead," Dr. Rodriguez replied coldly. "Premier's been very clear about this. They'd rather pay us $50,000 than pay out his $3.7 million claim. And dead patients don't file appeals or lawsuits?" I felt my blood pressure spike, but I couldn't move or speak. My own doctors, people I'd trusted with my life, had been bought by my insurance company. Dr. Martinez hesitated. "What if his wife gets suspicious? She's a nurse practitioner. She'll know if we're not following proper protocols." "We'll tell her the surgery was more complicated than expected and that we need to wait for inflammation to subside before starting chemo. By the time she realizes what's happening, it'll be too late." The surgery proceeded, but now I knew it was all theater. They were removing enough tissue to make it look legitimate, but they had no intention of providing the aggressive follow-up treatment that would actually save my life. When I woke up, in recovery, Dr. Rodriguez smiled warmly at Sarah and me. "The surgery went perfectly, Marcus. We got everything visible. You'll need some follow-up treatment, but we need to wait a few weeks for your body to recover from the surgery before starting chemotherapy." It was an Academy Award performance from someone who had just taken money to kill me. Over the next week, I gathered more evidence while pretending to be a grateful patient. The recording device had captured everything clearly. I also discovered that Premier Health had similar arrangements with doctors throughout Colorado and 3 neighboring states. I contacted the FBI's Healthcare Fraud Unit in Denver and met with Agent Sarah Kim. When I played her the recordings, her face went white. "Mr. Williams, this is conspiracy to commit murder on a massive scale. We're opening an immediate federal investigation." Agent Kim explained that they had been investigating Premier Health for other fraud allegations, but nothing this serious. My recordings provided the evidence they needed for criminal charges rather than just civil penalties. Within 48 hours, FBI agents had executed coordinated raids on Premier Health's corporate offices in Denver, Dr. Rodriguez's practice, and the medical records company they used to alter patient files. They found extensive financial records showing payments to dozens of doctors in exchange for delaying or denying cancer treatments. The investigation revealed that Premier Health had caused the deaths of at least 23 cancer patients over 3 years by bribing doctors to provide inadequate care. They had saved approximately $89 million in claim payouts by systematically letting patients die during treatment delays. Jennifer Walsh, the claims adjuster who had denied my treatment, wasn't actually a licensed insurance professional. She was a former Premier Health executive, specifically hired to manage what they internally called claim resolution through patient attrition. Dr. Rodriguez broke down during FBI interrogation and revealed the full scope of the conspiracy. Premier Health had recruited oncologists across 4 states, offering them $25,000 to $75,000 per patient to delay treatment until cancers became terminal. Dr. Martinez, when confronted with the recordings, agreed to cooperate with the investigation. He revealed that Premier Health had threatened to destroy his practice if he didn't participate, but he'd been having second thoughts about the arrangement. My case became the centerpiece of what federal prosecutors called the largest healthcare murder conspiracy in American history. Premier Health was forced to immediately approve my treatment under court order. I underwent aggressive chemotherapy and radiation therapy that successfully eliminated my cancer. The company was also required to pay $15 million in punitive damages directly to me. The criminal trials began 8 months later. Dr. Rodriguez was sentenced to 25 years in federal prison for conspiracy to commit murder. Dr. Martinez received 10 years for his cooperation with the investigation. Jennifer Walsh got 20 years for organizing the patient attrition program. Premier Health Insurance was completely dissolved. The 3 executives who created the murder scheme received sentences ranging from 15 to 30 years. The company was required to pay $500 million in restitution to families of patients who died due to their schemes. The case led to the passage of federal legislation requiring independent medical review of all cancer treatment denials and making it a federal crime for insurance companies to alter medical records or bribe healthcare providers. Today, I'm cancer-free and back to investigating medical fraud, but now I specialize in insurance company conspiracies. Sarah and I have become advocates for other cancer patients fighting insurance denials. The kids, now understanding what happened, are proud that their dad helped expose a system that was literally murdering people for money. Sometimes, the most important investigation you'll ever conduct is the one that saves your own life. If I hadn't been a medical fraud investigator, if I hadn't known how to gather evidence and build a case, Premier Health would have successfully murdered me and gotten away with it. 23 other patients weren't as lucky, but because of their sacrifice and my investigation, hundreds of other cancer patients will receive the treatment they deserve instead of being killed by their own insurance companies.